Hi there. I'm Marcelin Bailey, and you are inside of Stress Talk. This is the live broadcast and podcast for working women who are tired of feeling stressed and close to burnout. I believe that there is a better way to achieve stress relief than what you would normally find in on an internet search. It takes you going deeper and deeper to who you are, what you want, and how you're going to get there. And we're going to talk about vision in just a moment. So stay with me. Hi, I'm Marcelin Bailey, and as I said, you are inside of Stress Talk. Just a moment ago, I was looking at my monitor and I kept seeing this little light shining on my face, and that was just a beam of sunlight coming through the blinds. It's sunny here where I am. I know that it's not sunny everywhere and that there's snow in lots of different places. But right now, where I am, it is very pleasant and the sun is shining. So I'm feeling good about that. And see, there's another beam of light there. So I hope it's not too distracting for you. We're talking about vision today. And it's part of our series on mission statements. And we've been doing a lot of discussion about what a mission statement is and how it affects your ability to control and manage stress in your life. Well, I have a few questions for you as it relates to vision. First of all, do you have a vision for your life? When I was 18 and about to graduate from high school, I remember standing in my driveway. Sometimes I'd stand in my driveway, sometimes I'd stand in my best friend's driveway, and we would talk about what our lives were going to be like when we were adults, right? I remember standing and talking with her, and I remember we had it all mapped out. I was going to get married, and I was going to marry a doctor. I was going to be a doctor and or a lawyer or a researcher or a writer, journalist. I hadn't quite figured that part out, but I was going to be married by the age of 24. And I was going to have 3 children, all boys. Because, hey, at that time I was like, oh, I'd rather deal with boys than girls. Girls are difficult. My friend had her life all mapped out. She too knew the type of man she was going to marry, how many children she was going to have, and what she was going to do during those years. Well, none of that happened for any of us, either of us. Our lives did not turn out the way we thought it would at the age of 18. Now, we have both lived very satisfying lives. I am married, not to a doctor, and I am not a doctor. I am not a journalist, and I am not an attorney. How about that? Go figure. But I do have 2 beautiful daughters and a cat and a dog. Yeah, well, okay. In any case, the things that we thought or the things that we imagined did not come to fruition. So, what's the big deal about having a vision when it doesn't come to fruition, right? Well, there's a difference between a vision, a dream, and your imagination. There's a big difference. A vision is a descriptive representation of what you desire in your life. And although at the age of 18, I could describe, you know, the type of man I wanted to marry, the number of children I were going to have, and what their gender was. I could not describe the essence of it. I could not describe how it would make me feel. I could not describe where we would live. I couldn't describe how we would interact with each other. I could not describe the types of relationships that I would have as a result of being married, having children. The vision or a vision should have all of that. It should have, there's a body to it. It is not just a skeleton. When you're dreaming, when you're imagining, many of those dreams or imaginations are just fleeting. They come and they go. But a vision has body. There's a skeleton that grounds the vision. And then you fill it in with the muscles and the tendons and the blood flow, so to speak, and all of those things that make it a living, breathing entity. And I know that I've talked about that when I've talked about a mission statement being having your essence, right? Your mission statement should have your essence, but the vision too should be something that is so vivid in your mind and so vivid in what you see. Ooh, I got excited. I hit my microphone. That it is, in essence, living and breathing. It's very real. So your vision, again, is a descriptive representation of what you desire in your life. And that could be something that's visual, it could be graphic, or it could even be written. And what I'm talking about right now is essentially a written vision. Now, some people even put together vision boards. Now, have you ever laughed at somebody who has a vision board? I know there are a couple of movies that emphasize or show individuals with vision boards. I think there was a movie that Queen Latifah starred in. Queen Latifah and starred in it. It was a Christmas movie. And she had a vision board. And then there's a Hallmark movie, and it's also a Christmas movie too. And Cameron Bure, Candace Cameron Bure stars in this other Christmas movie, and she has a vision board. Well, vision boards are graphic representations of a vision. So why do people have those things? Why do people have a vision board? Why do they write down a vision? Well, they do that because when we see something repeatedly, when we think of something repeatedly, it becomes real to us. It becomes real. So having a vision board actually puts your desires in front of you for your consumption day after day after day, and it becomes real. And it not only becomes real in your mind, it also activates you to move towards it. And that is very key. That's very key. So when we're talking about a vision, what does it include? Well, it includes material things like a car, a house, clothes, things of that nature. It also includes things that you aspire to, like you aspire to have a certain career, or you aspire to achieve certain things in your life, or you aspire to travel. It includes your aspirations, the things that you want to accomplish or achieve during your lifetime. It also includes a representation of the relationships that you're going to have in your life, the relationship with your family, relationships with your friends, with your acquaintances, Also, any romantic relationships that you seek to have during your lifetime. And then, fourth, but I believe what is most important, a vision also includes a representation of the feelings that you want to experience during your lifetime. Now, when we talk about the feelings you want to experience, I'm talking about your emotions like joy, peace, happiness, right? We all say that we want those things. Well, most of us do. We say that we want those things. I want to experience joy in my life. How do we do that? How do we experience it? What actions do we take to ensure that we are experiencing joy? When we say we want to be happy, what are we doing to experience happiness in our lives? And I always say, if you want to experience it, what do you do or what will you do to give it? How are you going to bring joy in someone else's life? How are you going to bring happiness in someone else's life? How are you going to bring peace in someone else's life? So, those are the four things that a vision includes: material things, because of course we want to have things, right? You can't have a vision without wanting, well, you could, but you might want a house, you might want a car. Um, Also, what do you aspire to? What do you want to accomplish or achieve in your lifetime? The relationships. What types of relationships do you want to have with people who are around you? Also, what do you want to experience in terms of the feelings? What types of feelings do you want to experience? So these are the things that your vision should include. I'm going to take a sip of my tea. You know, I always have tea. Um, Today's tea is mint green. Mint green. Kind of wakes you up. Mint wakes you up, helps you to stay alert. It also feels good going down. Okay. So when you have your vision, one of the key things about having a vision is that you have clarity. And before we end, I'm going to give you a little assignment to help you to put some meat on your vision. So I've talked about the difference between a vision, a dream, a hope, and imagination. At least I did, the difference between a vision and a dream and an imagination. Excuse me. A vision is comprised of all of those things. A vision is comprised of dreams, hopes, and imaginations, right? However, a vision will have goals as well as action steps that you will seek to complete. That's the difference. When you hope for something, it's almost like it's going to fall out of the sky and land in your plate or something of that nature, right? It's just going to fall, whoop, or somebody's going to knock on the door and you'll answer it. Well, um, hope is one thing, and we should have hope because it makes us feel as if we can do anything. But hope is not having a vision. Also, imagination, we can imagine many things, and we can imagine things that almost seem like they're real. But that is not a vision. A vision has, as I said, meat on it. It has its foundation or its structure, and then it has all of those things that make it come true. It becomes living, breathing. It's a living, breathing organism of sorts. So when you have a clear vision, and we'll talk about what that means in a moment, you have the makings or the foundation to write a clear mission statement. So you want to have your vision first. You want to know those things that you want to own, the things that you aspire to, the relationships that you want to have, the types of relationships you want to have in your life, as well as the feelings that you want to experience. Once you have that, then you can write your mission statement, which should encompass all of those things, right? Also, we talked about last week that your mission statement should also incorporate your core values. Yeah? Okay. And uh, as an aside, you were supposed to come up with 3 core values this week. Do you have those? If not, keep working on it. Okay. Keep working on it till you get it. Because that's going to be important for you as you write your mission statement. So you can take your vision and take all of those things that you desire, the things that comprise your vision, and then you can scale it down to so that you can write your mission statement, right? So again, your mission statement will basically be comprised of the material things, well, kind of, the aspirations, the relationships, the feelings, as well as your values. Okay. Once you've done that, then you can write or create goals. And a goal is it's just a roadmap for you to accomplish the vision that you see. It's I'm going to graduate from college. I'm going to move to Korea. It's the goals that you've set that help you to accomplish your mission, and your mission helps you to attain the vision that you've created for yourself. From your goals, you will create action steps. And your action steps are kind of like baby steps. It's, sometimes when we are developing a plan for ourselves, we forget that there are actions. We always want to jump, but sometimes we have to take steps to get from point A. Hey, thank you. Get from point A to point B. So we must keep in mind that when we set a goal, there are steps that we must take to reach that goal. Okay. So we've talked about what a vision is. We've talked about what comprises a vision. We've also talked about how we reach a vision. First, we have a mission statement. Then we have goals that help us to meet that mission. And then we have action steps that help us to reach each individual goal. So I mentioned that clarity. You have to have a clear vision. Clarity is so important. And that's one of the things that I help the women that I work with to get. I help them to gain clarity about what it is they really want. Sometimes we go into something, we have a picture of what we think we want, but we don't have clarity about it. And I think that when we don't have clarity, that's where we feel frustrated, we get disappointed, we feel anxious, we worry. And what does that do? It throws our stress level up. It causes it to go up. So clarity, having a clear vision is very important because it will help us to keep the negative stress down. Also, it will enable us to meet whatever blocks us, whatever difficulties that we face as we're trying to accomplish our vision. So clarity is very, very important. One of the things that I talk about when I'm working with women and help them to gain clarity as it relates to their vision is I ask them, what do you really want? And let me give you an example. Let's talk about things, material things. When we talk about material things, we often talk about how good it will make us feel, right? So, for example, I want to own a house, okay? And I would ask, well, why do you want to own a house? Because I've always wanted to own a house. Well, some of us do. I own my home, but I got to tell you, sometimes owning a home is overrated because it's a lot of work. But it is an accomplishment. Okay, let me get back on track. So, you want to own a home, right? So, is it the home that you want, or is it the experience of the home? When you own a home, what does it provide to you? Well, for me, I own my own home, or we own our home, and it helps me to feel stable, safe, and secure. So when I talk about material things and I talk to women about what they want to have, I always ask them, what experience does it provide for you? So again, my home, our home, provides me with stability. It makes me feel stable. It makes me feel secure, and it makes me feel safe. That is an experience. That is an experience. So for me, I don't have to have a mansion to experience that. I can have something that is manageable for me, right? Manageable for my family, and something that fits my family's needs. And this is where I think clarity is so important. I mean, you may want to own that Porsche 911, which Carrera, which I did one time when I was in my 20s. I wanted to own that car, and I still think that is the best car on earth. However, owning that car is, I don't have to have a Porsche to go to work. I can own the car that I have that's paid off and get to work, right? It's the experience. I just want to have a vehicle that's safe, a vehicle that gets me to and from my job, a vehicle that is reliable. It doesn't have to be a Porsche 911 Carrera, although those are hot cars. And I thought I would look really good in it. And I think I still would look good in a Porsche, but I look good in my other car too. The point is that when we have clarity about our vision, we can weed out all of those things that don't mean anything. We can weed out all of the stuff the fluff and the stuff that does not feed us, that does not build us up. So we talk about things versus experience. I also talk about experience versus feelings. So sometimes we want to experience things. And I'll say, well, how will that make you feel? Right? What will that make you feel like? Will it bring you peace? Will it bring you joy? Will it bring you happiness? Will it bring you those things that you want to feel in your life? Once we gain clarity in terms of the vision, we also want to make sure that our vision is congruent. So, congruence is also a key factor. And I'll give you an example of that. When we're working, I might say, boy, I really want to be able to travel. That's what I want. I want to travel. I want to leave the country and travel to other countries every month. But if I have a job that requires me to be on property every day, the vision that I have of traveling once a month becomes limited. I can only go certain places for a limited amount of time. And I know that when we think about our visions, we always think of pie in the sky. We think, oh, I just want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. But we don't think about congruence and how it will fit into our lifestyles. Now, if I were someone who um, worked on my own, if I was an entrepreneur, or if I had the type of position that allowed me to travel, that would be different. It doesn't mean that it's impossible. What it means is you have to set a goal that will allow you to reach that aspiration, right? So we want to make sure congruent, that our vision is congruent with what we have to work with in our current lifestyle. I mean, I couldn't own a horse if I lived in a big city. I would have to house the horse somewhere where there were stables and land where the horse could graze and have open fields. Okay. So, those are the things that you want to think about when you're talking about your vision. The last thing that it's important for a vision, for your vision, is commitment. That's what makes the difference. And that's where the rubber meets the road. We want to be committed to the vision that we've set forth. And so often that's where we have trouble, right? And I'm going to tell you a quick story. This morning, I got up to do yoga, and I have a person that I follow who does yoga for about 30 minutes or maybe a little longer, sometimes a little less. But I got up this morning to do yoga, and I was having trouble. I was struggling. I was struggling, and I got angry. I got angry because first, I was having trouble with the poses. My computer, my TV kept going in and out because the cable wasn't hooked up, and I got angry and frustrated. And I kept thinking, I wanted to do this. It's not working out. In the past, I would have just thrown up my hands and said, forget it. I'm not going to do it. But because I committed to doing yoga every day, and because doing yoga is part of my mission, I stuck with it. Now, I couldn't get those poses today to save my life. I was struggling, y'all. It was really rough for me this morning. But I got through it and I finished. I got through the routine and finished. Commitment is like that. When you have a clear vision, when you have a clear mission statement, those are the things that are going to hold you to what you've said you're going to do. You're going to remember that, hey, I committed to this, and so I'm going to stick it out. That's when your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions all align with the vision that you have for your life and the mission that's going to help you to accomplish it. So, when we're talking about vision, it is a very key point to limiting your stress. Why? Because it helps you to live the life that you truly desire. You'll have clarity. You'll have a vision that's congruent with the life that you want to live, and you'll have commitment in terms of your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. They will totally align with your vision as well as your mission. So, that's it for now. I could talk about vision all day. I could talk about mission all day. But again, I believe that there is a better way to control negative stress. I mean, you can do internet searches all day long, and the tips that they give you that you'll find are only going to provide temporary stress relief. What I'm talking about is a way to manage negative stress, a way to meet whatever negativity that you face on a day to day basis, and to build a foundation to limit that negative stress and keep you from feeling burnout. I'm Marcelin Bailey. I'm so glad you've joined me today. I want you to make sure that you join our Stress Talk private Facebook group. Follow my ML Bailey Consultants page where you're going to get news about what's going on. Also, follow me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and I post every day. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me. Come back next Sunday, 4 o'clock. I'll be here. And always take good care.